Alright, I can start working on these door frames. The one thing I've noticed here is that these are just a bit thicker than what they need to be. But I'm not going to take the material off of the piece. I'm going to take it off the front of the shelf. I've got a good probably 3/16 of an inch to work with there. And if I take a 1/16 of an inch off, I'll be back to right where I need to be here. Yeah, that'll be good. I'm probably a 32nd of an inch strong here. Okay, got my pieces sized here. And when I have the other set in here, I've got about an 1/8 of an inch gap. That's going to go away once I put the hinges in, but for now I want to leave it in case I have to square these up. But so far it looks pretty good. I've got one set marked with numbers to match them up, and the other set marked with letters to match them up. So I did take these after some more thought. I did take these and look at them after having sat for a little while. I did have a little bit of a bend to them, so I refaced them on the joiner, ran them through the planer again, and now I've got they're nice and straight and true, and I am just about flush. So the rest of the material that needs to come off will come off of this shelf. All right, after dominoing these together, they look pretty good. If I hold this one, for some reason this one wants to sag a little bit, but if I hold it tight to that side, I've got a nice even gap here of about an 1/8 of an inch. Like I said, that's going to disappear once I put the hinges in, but it gives me an indication of where I am. So I'm liking what I've got so far. Now I just need to work on the grill and getting that centered up, and so I have equal divided lights. All right, I just spent the last few minutes milling up my dividing light bars, I guess, the mullions, maybe that's what they're called. Anyway, there's a long one. That's going to be centered. And then the short ones. Or I'm sorry, the short one's going to be centered. And then I need 2 long ones, equally spaced. So I made plenty of them. I've got 2 extra of the long ones and plenty of extra of the dividing ones. But you just never know when you're doing something like this for the first time how it's going to go. So I got to get those equally spaced, and then when I do this piece, I've got to get it centered so that it comes in line with the shelf. So I'm going to lay this out. What I want to do is I want to let these into the back of the frame after it's glued up. Actually I want to do it before it's glued up because it'll be easier to work with these pieces out of the frame. Sorry. That's what happens when you don't have anything glued up. We'll leave that alone now. So I'm going to lay out center, and then center on these pieces, I guess. I'm going to go 3/4 of an inch past, and then I got to put a rabbet on the back of these 1/8 of an inch deep for the glass. So just a shade over 1/8, I think. And then I'll just put little buttons that'll hide behind the vertical bars that'll hold the glass in place. I'm pretty sure that's what I'm going to do there. Alright, everything was going along just great. I was making my stop dados here for the glass, and I had a little brain and put one of these long pieces and just ran it straight through. I've got it stopped on this end, luckily, but so I had to make a little patch here. I'll clean that up with a block plane. And then the other thing I can do, and the good thing is this is going to be painted, so it should just virtually disappear, but I'll make sure that this goes on the bottom as well anyway. So just wanted to show you that, let you know that yes, it does happen. But this is a good way to salvage it. Alright, I suppose there's lots of ways to attack this, but here's how I'm going to do it. This way is no problem. Center is its center, whatever it's going to be. But to divide this into 3 equal pieces, I needed to take the inside measurement here. I'll subtract my 1.5 inches, divide it by 3, and get my number. I won't bore you with all the math. Anyway, so I took my tri-square, added 3/8 to that, set my piece on here at that measurement, then did the same on this side. Right there. Then took my measurement that I set with my dial caliper here, digital caliper, and just double check the inside dimension minus that 3/8 of an inch. And that just drops in there. So that is all set to go. Now I just need to lay this out, do my half laps, center on these pieces, the measurements I just talked about. Then I'm going to lay it on here and get my locations to make my cuts here. This one is going to lie inside the rabbit. These I think might go a little longer and deeper. I'm not quite sure yet, but regardless, that's what I'm going to plan on doing. So I've got my 2 line marks there, and I will I'll cut one, see how it looks, and then we'll do the other one.